Okay, so we're back again, and we're working on our BabyBot robot. And this is the other BabyBot that I built. Here they are together. And I want to do something a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more complex. It's something that this BabyBot already does, and that is tracking something with the eyes. Right now we have it so that BabyBot will look in one direction, and then, as you just saw there, move the head and center the eyes again. So BabyBot looks around and then sometimes sees something that makes him want to look at it, so he turns his head to look at it. What we want to do is to watch something that's perhaps moving across the front of BabyBot's vision. So BabyBot will start to track it with her eyes, but then she'll start to move her head, and her head will eventually catch up with her eyes as she is watching something move across her field of vision. Okay, let's switch these off and see what kind of thing we need to do to code it. All right. Oh, and this is Henry again. He's with us today. Going to be helping, I hope. All right. Let's see. We're going to need a function. Always starts with a function, doesn't it? Do something. Nope. Let's do tracking. So I'm going to be calling this tracking. So we're watching something move across our field of vision. And as always, we're going to install some logic here. And to do the tracking, the one thing that we need is for eyes to be facing forward. If the eyes are not facing forward, then we can't do this. Well, maybe we could, but that would be strange. I think that would look strange. We want the eyes to be centered. Okay, so on our movement count of 0, we want to do some initialization. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to check to see if the eyes are to the center. And the way we can do that is there are 2 positions we have to check, and one of them is going to be current eye rotation is equal to one of the center rotations, okay, or eye rotation is equal to the other one. We haven't really implemented, except for elevation, we haven't really implemented partials. Eyes are either to the left or to the right, head is to the left or the right or center. We haven't really done anything where we're moving partials, except for elevation, where we want the elevations to stay pretty much level and occasionally look up or down a lot. So that's the only time we really go out of one of these set values. Okay, so if it's in the center, then we can do it. But if it's not in the center, we can't. So this is when we can I want to know when we can't. Well, I guess I could put an else in. Let's just do that. So if we can't do this, then we're going to set our final count to 0. That means that go back and choose something else. We're done. Okay. If we can do it, we need to choose a way to go, and we can do that with an if then else, and we can have pick random true or false. So we're centered. We're going to pick either going one way or the other. Except that that's only true if we are already in the center, if we are looking center. So let's do this. So we know our eyes are in the center. The next thing we have to determine is our head in the right, which direction our head is at. And our head can be center, left, or right. And it'll work okay. So let's first check current head rotation is equal to left head rotation. Nope, that's eyes. I've made that mistake before, picking the wrong one. Yeah, I'm not falling for it again. Actually, I probably will. If you see me do that, just put in the comments, hey, what do you think you're doing? Okay, so if our head is to the left and our eyes are centered, we really can only move towards the right. So we're going to be moving our head back to the center. So let's see what we're doing here. We want the new head rotation. Oh, that's the wrong block. So we want to set the new head rotation to something. New head rotation. And if we're at the left, then we're going to go back to looking at the center. Head rotation center. All right. And let's add another one. If our head is to the right, head rotation right, then we want to do a different thing. We want our head to, well, no, actually, we want our head turned back to the center. And if our head rotation is already in the center, then we're going to want to, we can go to the left or we can go to the right, depending. So we're going to choose random. So we'll either go left or we'll go to the right. Okay. That's some complex looking. Oh, I'm gonna let this dog out of the room. You're leaving me? All right. Dog doesn't want to be here with us. So, the dog left the room. Oh, and Cat's trying to steal my chair. Cat? All right. Okay, so where are we now? We know where we want our head to turn to. what else do we want to do? We need to turn our eyes in that same direction, at least to start with. So, our head's going towards the center. So our new head rotation is going to be eye rotation center. At least that's what we're going to end up with. Center. And if our head is in the center, we're going to rotate to the left. Our eyes are going to go to the left, and then they're going to want to come back to the center. Okay, so what we're talking about here is our eyes are going to basically, oh, I got that wrong. Eye rotation. That's another one of those places where I do the wrong thing. Eye rotation. I'm going to make this first. I'll save myself a problem. Eye rotation, new eye rotation. Okay, now, if our head is already starting out to the left, we're going to be turning our head to the center, towards the center. And what we're going to do is we're going to move our eyes towards the right. So we already know that it's not actually going to be this. We can't use this here. So I'm going to use one of these. Which one? Okay, so what is it we're doing? We're going to start our head rotation. That's where we're going to end up. But to start it, this is it. To start, we want our head to move back towards the center. So, if our head is to the left, it doesn't really matter if our eyes are center. We're going to first move our eyes towards the center. If our head is to the left, we want to move our eyes to the right to start with. Because our eyes are starting in the center. We want to move them to the right, and then we want to, if their head's to the left and you're going to be moving your head to the left, we want to start by moving our eyes to the left. And then we'll change that to the final setting. This isn't the final setting, this is the initial setting. So, new eye rotation is in the center. We're going to be moving our head to the left, so we want to start out by moving our eyes to the left. And in this case, we want to start by moving our eyes to the right. Hopefully that is correct. We'll find out soon enough. Now, as I was saying, we want to start by moving our eyes first, which means that we are not going to use we're not going to just move our head proportionate at the bottom. So we're breaking the mold here. Breaking the mold where we just move the servos iteratively. We want to start out moving our eyes, and we want to move the eyes in the direction that our head's moving in to start with. How long do we want this to take? What is our final count? I'm going to set our final count to something like a 26, because we're watching something move in front of us, so it's going to take a little while. And then what I'm going to say is that for the first so many counts, we're just going to move our eyes before we start to rotate our head. Okay, so if movement counter is less than or equal to, let's say, 6. So for the first 6 counts, what are we going to do? We are going to move our eye rotation. We just want to move the eye rotation. So this is how we start our eyes moving first. And we're going to move them in the direction of where our head's going to be turning. So let's try that. I don't do enough testing in part way. It's a bit of a bad habit on my part. It's a habit you should have where you test it as much as you can as you were building it. I tend to go a little bit too far because I know what I write mostly works, and that's not a good habit to be in. I should assume the worst. All right, let's see what this guy does. Oh, wait a minute. That's not going to do anything, is it? And it's not going to do anything because I haven't told it can do something. All right. Add a new state. Here's our states. What's our state going to be called? It's going to be called tracking. And I just have to put this in here, and it will automatically generate the number I need. Finite state machine. Let's add it to that. Let's duplicate this. Gives us a place to start. So tracking. And I'm just going to have tracking going to nothing for now. And I'm going to move this out when I have nothing go back to tracking, just for now. Okay, so nothing goes to tracking, tracking goes back to nothing. We also have to put it into this loop. So if the state is tracking, we want to call do tracking. Okay, let's collapse our blocks. There we go. Now we should be able to try this out. So it'll go back and forth between nothing and tracking, and we'll see what it does. Okay, initialized. And okay. I think he moved his eyes over a little bit. Looks like he did. Let's reset. If I can find the button there. There. So you can see the eyes are moving a little bit. Okay, that's good. And that seems about right. So for the first 6 counts, we're going to move the eyes, and then on the 7th count, or greater, so I'm going to do greater than 6. So this will be after that first little bit. And I might have to change these. I don't know yet. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to take where my eyes are now and save that as where the old eyes are. Because that's where the eyes are now. I'm going to start doing something else. Current eye rotation. Now remember that we are extrapolating between where the eyes are now, the old eye rotation, and the new eye rotation. So we're going to set the old eye rotation to wherever it is now. And then we're going to go and ahead and, oh, this could be tricky. All right, that's going to be tricky. The eye's going to move around. All right. Now, one thing we want to do is we want to call the eye rotation current eye rotation, and we want the new eye rotation. And this is where we can actually use the function. Because we've moved the eyes a little bit to left or right, and now the function will work. It'll tell us how to center the eyes. So from here on out, we are going to now center those eyes as if the head is catching up with them. So we're going to start moving the head, and we're going to start moving the eyes. So we've already set where the new head rotation is going to be. The eyes are going to start wherever they are now, and they're going to continue to move. So now we've got a problem. And that is, we're starting in the middle of a run. So we're not using 0 as our movement counter. We're starting at count 7. That's right, kitty. And now Sophie's with us. So I'm going to have to change some things. Move servos non-linear. And I want to change that to have a start and a stop. But first, I need to add a start and a stop to this. Yeah, I do. So I'm going to edit the function. I'm going to need 2 more numbers. And, excuse me, you're typing. What did we say about cats typing? I think we said cats don't type. I'm pretty sure. We said cats do not type. Low and high. All right, so now we have a start and a stop. And these are now wrong because I moved them around. So this is now low. Stop is now high. Halfway is going to be low plus high divided by 2. Range of motion is going to be high minus low. There we go. Okay, now how does the start and stop come into play? Well, start goes here and stop goes here. So if it's less than or equal to where we're starting, then we're going to return the low. If it's greater than or equal to where we stop, we're going to return the high. And now movement counter needs to be offset by the starting point. So let's grab some math. Minus, so we can take movement counter minus the start point is where we are now. So if start is, say, 5 and the movement counter is also 5, that's going to be 0. Final count. We also need to offset that by when we start, because that gives you the range of how far that's going to go. So the final count is actually going to be the starting point and the stopping point. So stop minus start. You're not supposed to be typing there, kitty. Did you know that? I think you did. All right. So we've added a start and a stop to this. Hopefully this works. Let's get it set up, and then we can test it a little bit. So now this all needs to be moved a little bit to make room for those first 2. And the reason I'm moving these instead of just adding them on at the end is because I want this to be very similar to the map function that we already are dealing with. And our default is we start at 0 and we end at final count. All right, so this is going to give us the ability to test this now to see if it's working. So let's go up to the finite state machine, and I am going to pull tracking out, And I'm going to put this back in. And I'm going to test this now to see if that is actually going to work. So as you can see, we made a change. We need to test that change before we go any further to know if we've already made a mistake. If we've already made a mistake, we're going to have a problem at the end. We will we will already have a mistake. So we'll be trying to fix multiple things. And right now, all I'm really looking at is whether or not we need to fix that new little thing that I added, the start and the stop. And it looks like it works. All right, I'm gonna watch it for a little bit. Aren't you supposed to put your head back in the center? Move your head back to the center. Thank you. All right. That looks good. All right, so that works. So let's take this out again. Put our test array back in. That's going to focus on tracking so that we see what tracking is doing, basically. All right. So now we need to fix tracking again. So we're going from old to new. And this is actually from, we're going to start out by going from 0 to some number. And I could change that, but I'm going to go ahead and use the final count, just because that seems like a reasonable thing to do for now. All right, so when we get to after the first 6 times through here, I'm going to start doing this. So we're going to set the old eye rotation is now the current eye rotation. The new eye rotation is going to be the center eye rotation. And we want to move the eyes, rotate the eyes, and instead of 0, we want to start at 7, because that's where we start. So if it's equal to 6, we'll do this. When we get to 7, we're going to do this. Now, there's a problem. I see it. We only want to initialize that one time. All right, so we're going to have something a little bit different. So this needs to be equal to 7. And then after that, it's going to be greater than 7. So we'll call this, same as app, to continue on, but we don't want to do this initialization twice. So there you go. All right, the next thing we want to do is we need to rotate the head rotation. So let's go back here, head rotation. Let's grab a copy of this. And we're going to add that to here. Starting at 7, we're going to start moving the head rotation. And we're going to continue doing that. But so we're only going to set this that one time. Now, another way of doing this would be to say, if greater than, I'm going to use the greater than or equal to. Oh, should I change it again? Okay, that's fine. And if it's equal to 7, I'll set that. That means that this, I don't need. Okay, so I was able to collapse that down. Now that's an ugly looking piece of code. That is ugly. We'll deal with that later. What? Wait. What's? No, you don't need to exist. Let's collapse these. All right. Got rid of all the extra stuff. That is ugly. All right. Hopefully, though, it works. Head rotation. I might be able to make this a little bit nicer. We'll see. Let's see if it works. Let's just see if it works for now. And we need to download it. Yep. BB feels your love there, kitten. Hold on. BB's gonna wake up. Knock BB over. Let BB do some stuff. Okay, so this is one of those deals where we have to reset it. Hi, Katie. It's not really, I'm not seeing enough eye motion there. What do you think? I don't think there's enough. Oh, okay, thank you. All right. So let's go back and look at this a little bit more. So, not enough eye motion. How much would be enough? Say 10? No, no typing, kitty. All right, let's try that now. And I saw it get stuck one time, so there might be a problem. Excuse me, kitten. Don't knock him over, please. All right. Okay, that was me. All right, kitten. Excuse me. And there we have it. Oh, except for the cat. As you can see, the eyes are moving a little bit before the head does. And it's working. I think it works. I think it does what it's supposed to do. You can see it under the cat there. BB's gonna get you. She's gonna wiggle your flab. BB is wiggling your flab, kitty. Okay. I like it. All right. Let's go back now and see what we need to do. Now, the finite state machine. This comes out and goes away. That was for testing. Let's go ahead and add that back in. Okay, so we need, oh, you knocked him over. Don't break him. If you knock him over enough times, he will eventually break. There, kitten. What happened? Something happened. All right. There. Okay. Problems. Oh, good. Problems are going away. We're saved. Good. All right. So we need more spots. And there's three of those. Let's make 3 of this tracking. Tracking. And the reason we have 3 of these as compared to 1 blinking is so that we're doing these things 3 times more often than we're blinking. That's just to get that blinking under control. And when we go from tracking, we could go to nothing, but we could also go to looking around. And because we know when tracking occurs that the eyes are centered, we don't need to do a follow head, following eyes. We don't need to do that because we know that our eyes are already looking straight ahead. So we have no head movements that can follow the eyes. So we'll go back to nothing, or we'll go back to looking around. 50-50 chance that we'll stay there. Okay. So now that we've incorporated tracking, we can download this again and see how tracking works with the other things, the other actions that BabyBot can do. All right. There, we're doing some tracking. And it's pretty well integrated into what BabyBot's doing anyways. We did not put any elevation into it. Okay. Okay. That looks pretty good. Now the one thing we didn't do was put elevation into it, and I don't know. We can try it. Let's try it. Then maybe we'll fix it up a little bit. See if we can make something a little bit nicer. going to set new head elevation to random elevation. No, that's not the right one. We have to go down here and grab this. All right, duplicate that, add it. If our head is centered, this is in common, so we can do it here. And we want to do one more thing. We want to grab head, setting the head elevation, duplicate that. Oh, let's collapse that. And put that as part of the set. And again, we want this to be 7. Okay, let's try this. Add a little bit of elevation to it. So maybe BabyBot is tracking a bird, and the bird is going from low to high. Oh. Sorry, BabyBot. Okay. I'm not sure I like it. Maybe it's okay. All right. Let's reset. There we go. Okay. So what we added this time was all of this good stuff. Now, if we haven't, let's see if we can clean it up a little bit. Head rotation, head left. I'm not sure yet, but I think I can. Okay, so in order to make this work, we're going to need to have a different move servos, which includes the 0 in the final count. And that means that all of our other things are going to have to change too, but let's see what we can do. So we're going to edit this function, and we're going to add start. And we're going to add a stop. And start is where we start. And stop is where we stop. So instead of final count, we're going to use stop. Hi, Henry. Have you come to help? I hope you've come to help. You know, your sister wasn't very helpful. No, she wasn't. You think you are? Oh, okay. You think you can be helpful? That doesn't use it. Do nothing doesn't use it. Looking around does use it. So as we said before, this is going to be default of 0 to final count. What about this one? So we want this to be 0 to final count. And now if we do this right, we should be able to so we want to have the eye rotation set up here. And we want to do the head rotation set down here. So that's going to double this logic. Not sure I like that, but what I can do, at least with this, is change this to move circles nonlinear from 7 to final count. And we can get rid of these. There we go. Okay, let's try that out. That's a little bit better. Excuse me, kitty. What is it? What is it you think you need? What is it? All right, man. Try again. So it works. Okay, let's turn this off and let's look at where we've put. I know, I hear you. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do at all. All right. Tracking seems to work pretty well. Let's see where else we want to add it. Okay. So if we're looking around, it seems like we also want to be able to do some tracking. Because sometimes when we're looking around, we actually look to the center, and that would be a great time to do a little tracking. Did you see him blink at all? I did not see him blinking. Now, we might we might not be blinking enough now. Oh well. All right, let's check it out. There's a blink. So he does blink. Just not very often. Oh, I guess he is blinking. I'm looking for tracking. There was tracking. His head's a little, when he moves, just doing the elevation, it's a little bit bouncy. So let's go back and fix that up a little bit. That was in Following Eyes. At the very end, gets a little bit too bouncy. So let's add a little bit more time moving the head around. And let's see if he's still bouncy when we move his head up and down. When it's just his head, that is. All right. Still a little bouncy. yeah, you're a little bouncy there, guy. I'm going with a lot bouncy. That wasn't too bad. Now that was not too bad. That was okay. That was a little bouncy. That's okay. It looks like when he turns his head, sometimes it gets bouncy. Depending on where the actual, where he's got his head placed. I think when his head is up, it's closer to, when his head is up, it's closer to being balanced, and that is when he can bounce up and down. Otherwise, when his head is lower, he doesn't bounce around so much, because his head isn't able to do this, bouncing up and down. As you may recall, when you look in the back, there's a little bit of play in this particular, and that's what's causing him to bounce up and down. And normally, his head leans forward and keeps it tight against the bottom part of the loop. But when he's looking up, the balance changes and he's able to bounce. So if we don't want him bouncing his head around, we need to change the head up a little bit. Servo constants. Now, as you may recall, we already made this so that when we change this, we automatically change the head down so that level is still in the center. Wondering what to watch? I am not actually wondering what to watch right now. Thank you for interrupting my video. All right. Let's download. And if you're hearing a little bit of buzzing when I've got him plugged in, that's because the servos are trying to move, but they don't have enough voltage to move. Let's see. You're going to bounce around now? So far, pretty good. But I don't think he's moving his head up and down. Oh, there he did a little bit. I think that's better. I think that is better. All right. That's good. Another way of fixing that would be as follows. Let's just, all right. So we're gonna go around in the back here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a little piece of paper. Pull it out of the garbage, might as well. Why not? Gonna roll it up tight. Thank you for helping. There, kitty cat. I appreciate you helping. You interested in that? Okay. You can have that if you want it. And we can just go ahead and stick this to fill in that extra little bit of play. Oh, excuse me, kitten. And I suppose I could do this for the eyes too, but I just have never done it that way. So I've got just a piece in there. So it does have one bounce. All right, let's turn him on again. So you see. Okay, no more bouncing. Oh, I just said no more bouncing, and there it bounced. Okay, I guess it's gonna bounce a little. But I've gotten it down to a minimum, so I'm happy with that. What about you, Henry? You okay with that? You get your tail caught in the drawer. Good. Okay, so we're going to end this video. It's already too long for what I was doing. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.